Ayibona na-ege ekenekwa unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị nke tata bụ ụbọchị nke isii nke ọnwa Disemba 2023. Anyị si ka mara ka o si aga na ebe isi wee na-esore anyị ihe na-eme na bifo anyị agbapụ ya osi gosi ihe ji maka ewe bịa n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị na-akpọ morning tea. Nna anyị onye na-afụnire akwụkwọ bụ Maazị Simon Ekpa, the Biafran Prime Minister, and anyị kwere nkwa na anyị ga-ewetara n'ozi ọbụla bụ ihe gbasara maka ihe na-eme n'ala Igbo and na entire old Eastern region. Anyị ga-ewetara ya n'iru akwụkwọ ka ọ na-etinye ya own opinion ife i chere gbasara maka ihe na-eme dịka o si dị were ife Biafran Prime Minister kwuo n'iru akwụkwọ a ma chọkwa unu gee ya bụ ife unu ga-esie ya. Achọrọ m ka o si m n'ọnụ pụta, unu ga-esi na drop comment unu gbasara maka ife anyị chere n'iru akwụkwọ a and ihe a ga-eme o wee dị mma. Alright, over to you, sir.
Able to set up the Biafra forces, for you to be able to be recognized as a state, for you to merit or meet the requirement to be listened to by any reasonable organization, including the United Nations, America, Europe, and every other, is for you to be able to show the capacity that you are ready to become a nation and to become a free country of your own. That is one. You must be able to show the capacity to control forces, army, military forces. These military forces, Biafra government in exile and the Biafra Republic government, de facto government in the homeland, has been able to have and unveiled the Biafra Liberation Army. The Biafra Liberation Army has been unveiled and they are very, very potent. The Biafra Liberation Army has been able to display the highest tenacity by defeating the Nigerian army in every attempt for them to invade our land. It is the reason the Chief of Defense Staff and every other Chief of Security in Nigeria went to the National Assembly to cry that Simon Ekpa has become a menace in Nigeria. It is not just by ordinary broadcasting on social media, it is because of what the Biafra forces has done. And that particular statement is a validation of the fact that Biafra has a military department. It is a fact that Biafra has army under the government. Even though they have not they are yet to start recognizing them and mentioning the Biafra Liberation Army, we know they are going to be forced to mention Biafra Liberation Army in due time, because we are changing the pattern of our offensive from this month of December. So Biafrans, we've been able to set up our Biafra Army. It is part of the requirement for you to become a nation. So those of you who have been, supporting the Biafra from Wazirike up to this point, and without direction, without any structure, other than the structure of criminality, other than how they deceived Mazen Amdekano and sold him, that is what you who have deviated from supporting the Nigeria Pressure Group to supporting the real Biafra liberation movement of today, of which I am the Prime Minister, you have made a very wise decision. And I am this evening to tell you that the decision you've made has brought us this far. And I'm here to tell you step by step how a nation is restored. We have been able to do that. And again, the delegitimization of the Nigeria government within Biafra land have started in full force. We have announced the delegitimization of Nigeria, which is part of the Biafra liberation. This means that now we are focusing on making sure that all the terrorists in police uniform, all the terrorists in army uniform, all the terrorists in navy uniform, any army carrying or arm carrying terrorists under Nigeria state carrying arms and you are in Biafra territory, our aim is to make sure we neutralize you before you kill any Biafra. You are not there for the progress of the Biafra people. We continue to ban the military checkpoint, police checkpoint, and any checkpoint at all, be it Navy, be it Air Force, any checkpoint at all in Biafra land remain banned. And any day you will be attacked if you are in a checkpoint. That you are not being attacked today does not mean that you are not going to be attacked tomorrow. That's why we continue to call on Biafrans to stay 1 kilometer away from any checkpoint. Our aim, our objective, and our target is to make sure we neutralize every checkpoint within Biafra territory. It is part of the Biafra government project. We also make it very clear that we are calling on the Nigeria state, on Islamic Nigeria state, to pull and withdraw every security agency from Biafra land. And what we have done also is for those who are asking always, where is your Biafra map? I want to inform you today that the Biafra government in exile and the Biafra de facto government have been able to work on the map of Biafra. The map of Biafra, where you have the present southeast, the present south-south, and also part of Benue and part of Kogi, Lower Kogi State. Lower Benue and part of Lower Kogi State. And those maps will be out officially from tomorrow, the 4th day of December. So for those who have been always shouting and abusing indigenous people of Biafra, led by Mazen Namdi, people like Tony Nadi, people like all those idiotic people who always shout, where is your map? Where is your map? We are proudly telling them today that Biafra has a map that the people by themselves organized, people by themselves structured, people by themselves organized, and they were all happy about the outcome of these maps and outcome of these state structures. If you are not part of it, it is normal. You do not expect everybody to be part of a liberation movement like this. People will agree, some people will not agree. And that's why when the time for the referendum comes, we are expecting some people against it. It is a normal thing. But the idea and the good news is that those who are supporting the liberation of Biafra are more in number. We have about 90% or 99% of Biafra people who do not want to be part of Nigeria again, running into 70 million of people. So when they tell you all these years, where is your map? You are shouting Biafra. You have not consulted the people. You have not done this. You have not done that. Today, we have broken the jinx. And the people of the South-South, as they call it today, have been given the opportunity for them to come up with their own map, and they are working on that very, very diligently. And by tomorrow, we are going to have the complete map of the Biafra. And then you are going to see your state, your villages, your district, your counties, step by step, as we have done it. So the issue of map has also been addressed. This is one of the biggest challenges that the Biafra movement has encountered for ages. No map, no agreement, because what we're able to do is to give the people the opportunity to, by themselves, choose how they want to be governed and how they want to govern themselves, and also to be themselves resolve the issue of boundaries and map. That has brought us to where we are today. The issue of map has been resolved. Another issue that we are also going to inform the Biafra people today is the issue of the leadership in the South-South and the leadership in the Southeast. The leadership, those in the leadership, those in the political leadership, those in the religious leaders and all that, we do not need your voice. We no longer need your voice. We don't need you to speak good about Biafra. We don't need you to advocate for Biafra, because Nigeria is a very volatile state. Now that they are completely Islamic state recognized by the United Kingdom, you do not have the freedom of speech. Once you cite Biafra, you will be eliminated. And those of you who are general overseers in the church, once you talk about Biafra, your church will become a target, either target of sanction, either target of closure, either target of persecution and intimidation. And we do not want that to happen to you, because you have not spoken up to this point. We are calling on all religious leaders, all political leaders who are having double mind, and they know that indeed Biafrans are not welcome in Nigeria. All you need to do is to support the current Biafra Republic government in exile financially. Is to support the Biafra de facto government in the homeland financially. Is to support the Biafra military, Biafra forces, and Biafra fighters financially. We don't need you to speak. Your voice doesn't add anything as the current Nigeria state as it is standing. The time your voice is needed is over. There is no amount of statement you are going to give today that is going to change anything. So what you need is to support the movement secretly, financially, in order to secure yourself when Biafra comes. Because without your finance, Biafra is indeed going to come. And I want to inform every Biafran who have been asking, when are you going to declare Biafra? You told us that Biafra is going to come in 2023. Indeed, you are already in Biafra government. You are already in Biafra land. You are already in Biafra as a nation. You have a state of your own. You have the military of your own. And we are going to work on the police, because police is going to be state by state police. So when you are expecting when Biafra is going to be declared, you are already in Biafra. We have actually systematically declared Biafra. And I want you to understand that what we are doing now is exactly the thing that the Nigeria Islamic movement did in the Nigeria Constitution. The restructured Nigeria, the Fulanis, they restructured Nigeria systematically. And today, you find out that it was not very difficult for them to have a Muslim ticket. Why you are still shouting a secular state, and you are going to church and shouting prayer, oh, God is not possible, no Muslim can never rule the country. It is a systematic restructure. They have restructured it, and we have said this thing several times. So what we are doing now is, when you are expecting us to start fighting conventional war and start declaring Biafra, that is a nomadic way of fighting for freedom. What we do now is to put every government institution in place, to structure the government institution from A to Z, to have the government, the state government, to have the counties, to have the district, and then also appoint leaders to occupy those positions. And by doing that, you have formed a state within a state, and it is going to be a systematic way to also liberate Biafra. So while Nigeria have done their own, the Fulanis have done their own for many years, we are now starting to do the right thing. Since the beginning of the struggle for Biafra, this is the only time we have gotten it right. I am telling you, since the beginning of Biafra, this is the only time we've gotten it right. And by the time we finish setting up the state structure, we go a very ruthless offensive against Nigeria terrorist security in Biafra land, which is going to start very, very soon. And we are going to make sure we deal with them mercilessly until you see them no more anywhere in Biafra land. So this particular state institution is what is needed for you to prove to the international community, to whoever care to know, that indeed you have organized yourself. You have organized yourself, having a de facto government, having a government structure, running the government, which we are already doing, making sure that every government institution, you have created them. You may not have them physically. We are not going to have any physical structure at this point until we begin to evict the security forces with their weapons before we begin to talk about a physical structure. At this point, we are only creating the structures of the government institution to make sure that whenever we are called upon, we have something to present to the people who care to know. This includes the economic viability of Biafra. This includes every other government department, and this we have actually done, and the next is going to be the currency of Biafra. The Biafra currency, before we go into that, we will make sure that a kind of Biafra coin is in play, and Biafra people will be able to start using Biafra currency in coin before the official inauguration or the official unveiling of the Biafra Central Bank. And for those who do not understand how this is done, we will continue to use Naira as long as we have not declared Biafra. We will continue to use whatever that we have within the Nigeria state until the day we declare Biafra. Before the declaration of Biafra, everything have to be put in place. You have to have the Biafra currency in place. You have to have all these state structures in place. You have to have everything, including the passport, in place. And today, we are not only putting these structures and institutions in the homeland, we are also
Daalụ nne nụ ụmụ ife. Akụnụ si na-esoro anyị na-eme n'elu akwụkwọ ụbọchị nke taa. Dịka ị nụrụ ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwugasị, nke dịka ibe ya bụ ka ife were ikwu gbasata maka ya bụ ife ị nụrụ. Gịnị ka i were ikwu na nke drọpụrụ anyị on Commission Bureau. Dịka anyị na-echekwa maka onye ndu ịpụta na maka kọtụ ya bụ 15th of December, ka anyị na-etikwe ya n'ekpere ka Chukwu ọka bi mepụrụ m ihe niile, mee ka ihe niile gaa n'anya ya, ka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu pụta, ka udo wee dị n'ala Igbo. Anyị jikwara na-asị na Chukwu ọka bịa ya n'olu niile ka ịnụ ha na-esoro anyị na-eme. Ise. Alright, daalụ niile na ụmụ Chukwu, ka emesịa.